It's a new year, and 2026 is a milestone year for Philadelphia. As we prepare to celebrate the 250th anniversary of the United States, millions will visit the city where our country was born. Coming up, we'll take a behind-the-scenes look at Disaster University, speaking with two members helping to ensure Philadelphia Fire Department first responders are prepared for any situation. Stay with us. Freedom from Fire is up next. Hello, and welcome to Freedom from Fire. I'm your host, Firefighter Camila Bayete-Taylor. I'm currently stationed in our department's Fire Prevention and Code Division. Here at Freedom from Fire, we aim to improve your quality of living by giving you fire and life safety information. We also introduce you to our local safety partners and department leaders. This year, the city welcomes the FIFA World Cup, Major League Baseball All-Star Game, 50th anniversary of Rocky, and of course, the United States' 250th birthday. With all that happening, the city of brotherly love will see even more visitors than usual. And for us in the Philadelphia Fire Department, that means a lot of preparation for different types of emergencies, in addition to the 1,000 incidents we normally respond to every day. Our Emergency Medical Services, or EMS, division has developed a new way to get our EMS providers ready for anything. Today, we're joined by Captain William Murphy and paramedic Stephen Yost. Welcome to the show, and thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
All right, so first, tell us a little bit about yourselves, your current role with the PFD, and how long you've been with the department.
I am in my 24th year. I'm currently the captain of ES6, which is the Field Administration Unit for EMS. And one of our things that we handle, amongst many, is continuing medical education for our EMS providers. And that's how we got Disaster University.
Okay, which we'll get into.
I'm a fire service paramedic with the City of Philadelphia. Currently work in Medic 43 in South Philadelphia. I've been with the department for 18 years, and I'm also a fire training peer.
All right, which we will also get into a little bit later. All right, so as previously mentioned, there are a host of sporting events, concerts, celebrations, and other events planned as we celebrate the 250th birthday of the U.S. Now, when it comes to EMS, what is the PFD's role in events like these?
So we work in conjunction as part of the fire department, and we do everything from respond to individual emergencies in and around the scene to run things like the Parkway, where we set up medical tents, and we have, for marathons and things like that, we have a special event team that'll handle in-site, especially enclosed scenes like that. The Parkway, where there's gates and very little access, we'll work with some of our outside stakeholders and hospitals who provide us with physicians, and we can set up tents so we can handle everything from a minor cut or bruise to a full-scale emergency on scene at a large-scale event.
Okay, okay. Now, you mentioned Disaster University in the beginning, so let's talk about Disaster University. But first, before we do that, here's a quick clip of what the training there is like.
Soundstripe. Soundstripe.
All right, now that looks pretty intense, okay? Give us a brief overview of what Disaster University is.
So with Disaster University, we were given an opportunity to have a little bit of space that we borrowed from Mobile Integrated Health before they need it for some other things, and we saw an opportunity to jump on that and to really train how we play. And so we kind of coined the phrase, but really borrowed it from other places. And we're calling this high fidelity training. And the idea about high fidelity training is to put people in situations that are as close to real life as possible. So most training is done in a very sterile environment, in a very sterile way, where you talk through a lot of things, and I would do this and I could do that, and you may demonstrate a particular skill, but there's very few opportunities outside of the real world when they happen to you to practice doing them in a coordinated way, as if it were real. So we work with things like audio and visual distractors, which are a big thing in our business. The idea that there's going to be things happening around you, that the scenarios are kind of slightly open-ended, and the one thing missing from a lot of training is jeopardy. And jeopardy makes your brain kind of contextualize information differently and puts it in some different places so you can recall it when you need to. So getting a little, they call it muscle memory, and we're really kind of developing almost brain memory by putting our students under stress, even though it's not exactly real, that it looks, it smells, it feels like the real thing, is that when they are in that environment, that muscle memory or brain memory will kind of kick in, and we expect them to perform at a higher level.
Okay, so that all sounds very interesting. Now, how would you say that particular training differs from other training that the department has done in the past, maybe even something like paramedic or EMT school?
So again, it's the idea of jeopardy. So in clinical settings for most medical things, you're supervised by a physician, you're in a sterile hospital environment, and they won't really let you do anything that would cause things to not go correctly.
Okay.
And in environments like this, we have the opportunity to have an uncontrolled scene where we control the variables, and you could do no harm. The worst thing you could do is make a mistake.
Okay.
And it doesn't affect, it might make the scenario more difficult for you, but nothing bad will happen. And the idea of introducing that kind of like variability and jeopardy into training is something that's kind of novel for EMS. You see it on the fire side, where they'll send you into a controlled burn, whereas fire inherently is slightly uncontrollable, but they control every other variable.
Right.
There's no analog for that in kind of EMS training. You either go train like you're going to be a nurse in a hospital, or you just kind of talk about things, or you do them in a very kind of controlled, sterile way. And this was a way to take that and kind of remove those controls while still retaining the ability to control all the variables, so our people remain safe, you couldn't cause a real patient any harm, things like that.
Okay. Pretty cutting edge training there that you're talking about. Now, some might not know this, right? But EMS providers, whether they're emergency medical technicians or EMTs, advanced EMTs, paramedics, or even firefighter EMTs like myself were required to complete a certain amount of continuing education to remain state certified. So how does this Disaster U training fit into that requirement?
So we actually, we made the day slightly longer, and we offer the most Con Ed that we've ever offered our members in one sitting. And this is part one of a two-part series. We'll be kicking off the second part in the beginning of March and running through May.
Okay.
Which will deal with the kind of what happens once you collect all the patients. But this is the most CMEs we've ever offered at one time. And that at the end of this year, our members will have more CMEs than they have at any other year, in any other calendar year in the past. So we not only got to complete the mission that way, but we upped the stakes a little bit on the CMEs as well.
Okay, and CME's continuing medical education for everyone. So how many PFD members have currently completed the training at Disaster U?
We've done every single role EMS provider, which for us is about 500 single role EMS providers. And we're currently talking about working out a way that we can roll that out to all of our dual role providers as well, which would include the firefighter EMTs as part of kind of a longer commitment to high fidelity training in and of itself. We would love for this to be a departmental wide thing and for it to be a regular occurrence.
Okay. Now, what kind of feedback of the people that have gone through, or the providers that have gone through, what kind of feedback have you heard about the training?
We have 99.97 positive reviews on it. Wow. So I guess you can't make everyone happy. But we came as close as I think we could. We had a ton of positive feedback. People were very happy with the training.
Okay. Now, Paramedic Yost, what can you say about specifically about the training? What, I think, if you can say like what surprised you about the training, and then what you gained from the training?
I think a lot of it was setup. We had a lot of fun setting it up and coming up with different ideas to challenge our members, and just being excited to be a part of something that was new, because we were used to just sitting down in the classroom for 8 to 10 hours staring at PowerPoints. It's called death by PowerPoint. We joke about it all the time, right?
Yeah.
And you lose interest in it, and in turn, you're not really gaining anything from that. Whereas with this, we're keeping them up, keeping them moving, keeping that blood flowing, and people were excited because they were hearing rumblings from people that went through it before. Because we told them, like, don't tell your peers, because we want everyone to be surprised. But you know, they were trying to question and pry, like, oh, what are we going to see when we get up there?
Yeah.
And it was a nice surprise, and we all had fun doing it. People had fun going through it. I think we succeeded with this mission for sure, and I'm looking forward to the spring Con Ed.
Okay. And what would you say is the biggest takeaway for you from that experience?
You need to find an effective way to teach your membership. Like I find a lot of EMS providers are very ADHD-ish, right? Like we kind of move on to the next thing if our attention isn't kept, right? So with this, I think, like I said, we did a good job with that, and we kept it fresh, we kept it challenging, and we're trying to get our members ready for all these mass incidents coming up later this year.
Yeah, all right. So we'll dig into more of that in just a few minutes. We're going to take a quick break. But when we return, we'll talk about interactive scenarios and how one idea turned into a unique approach to keeping EMS providers sharp and calm under pressure. We'll be right back with more Freedom from Fire after this.
Illicit fentanyl is the deadliest drug threat that our nation has ever experienced. We lost Leo when he was only 19, killed by fentanyl he didn't even know he was taking. He was my heart, my son.
My grandson. I wish you could have met him. Such a beautiful young man. Kind, smart, funny, sweet, a great kid.
Go to ladrfoundation.org to join us in the fight against fentanyl.
Thank you.
I've been driving a truck for 40 years now. If people knew what I know, lives could be saved. Like the trucks can't stop quickly. It takes my 80,000-pound truck 200 yards to come to a complete stop. So I always do my best to give a lot of cushion. It helps when other drivers realize that and do the same. Please give trucks the space we need so we can all stay safe. It's our roads, it's our safety.
Welcome back to Freedom from Fire. I'm firefighter Camila Bayete-Taylor with the Philadelphia Fire Department's Fire Prevention and Code Division. Today we're joined by Captain William Murphy and paramedic Stephen Yost. We're discussing how our EMS providers stay up to date on their training and continuing education, and how the department's new interactive training facility, Disaster University, is helping our members learn in a realistic environment. Captain Murphy, Paramedic Yost, thanks again for being here.
Thanks for having us.
All right, so Disaster University's training floor is located inside our new Mobile Integrated Health building in Kensington. Mobile Integrated Health, or MIH, for those who are unfamiliar, is an arm of our EMS division that contains specialized units for specific kinds of calls, including some mental health and opioid-related incidents. We receive a wide variety of calls each day. No two are alike. Talk about what it's like to be an EMS provider and to respond to calls where you often have no idea what you're walking into.
So you just got to be prepared for anything. You know, you got to have all your equipment, check all your equipment, be familiar with everything. Like you said, you don't know what you're going to walk into, right? Just because you get dispatched for one thing doesn't mean that's what it's going to be. So you just got to be confident in your training, which is why we're doing all this here. Be confident in your skills, keep up on the protocols, and just get to work.
All right. Now, Disaster University, going back to Disaster University, their training floor was constructed in a large open room, okay? Here are some before pictures, all right, so everyone can see. Now, I'm told a lot of sweat equity went into bringing it all together. All right, so whose idea was Disaster University?
So I have to say that my two lieutenants are two of the guys that I work with who aren't here today. Lieutenant Andy Mahler and Lieutenant Matt Gravois were really instrumental. Matt Gravois in particular is a world-class world builder. And when we had the opportunity to kind of do things different, it was really just, how can we do this differently? There were no rules, what would we do? And the three of us and lots of other folks, you saw Captain Mary Preston in that one picture, who unbelievably made things happen in the background that I didn't think were possible in this department. And just kind of pulled it all together kind of out of hopes and thoughts and prayers, kind of. Yeah. And a lot of sweat equity. Steve and a lot of the other instructors were instrumental in just showing up every day and bringing tools from home and trolling dumpsters for pallets and things that we needed. We got some donations from some local businesses. We had Parks and Rec provide us with some stuff. Like I said, MIH gave us the space to use. SEPTA allowed us to dismantle an old bus. Wow. To use the seats and some of the other interior pieces to build our train car. There was quite a bit of sweat equity, and there were a lot of folks who showed up to make it happen, and it took every single person and every single idea to make that happen. It really took a village, and so I know that Steve and I are sitting here, but we cannot do justice to the ingenuity and creativity of the rest of the team. It took every single person to make that happen.
Wow, that's exciting. That's exciting. So many talented members in our department. All right.
It's a testament to what happens when you allow talented people the opportunity to express themselves.
Yes, yes. That's the mark of good leadership right there. That's excellent. All right, so here are some current photos. Let's take a look at some current photos of what the space looks like. Okay. Now, what are we seeing here?
So that's a simulated deck collapse. The cars donated from a local salvage yard. The deck was actually made out of a bunch of reclaimed pallets. The stairway is actually there all the time. We have some like kind of office furniture, and then our training mannequins, a smoke machine. I'm not sure how we're not on any government watch list from some of our Amazon orders during this. Some of the bizarre Amazon orders we had. That is simulating a chemical, biological, radiological, or nuclear attack. We're responding to one of those kind of events. And there's the outside of our train car. Thank you, SEPTA, for some of that stuff, and you'll see a little bit of the inside. A park bench from Park and Rec. We projected using projectors that we got from from the Healthcare Coalition to actually like make the backdrops look realistic. And so instead of trying to build a backdrop, we actually just projected the train platform into the space. So when you walk into the space, it looks like you're looking at the steps coming down at you. And again, like trying to create that realistic environment so that your brain, I mean, it's great and it's good fun.
Right.
It's also based on a lot of sound educational theory and like neurophysiology.
Okay.
So the idea that we want to stimulate the same neuroprocesses in your brain that you get when you're under stress. And luckily, your brain doesn't know that it's a simulation and it will react the same.
Right.
So that when we can get you used to working with those chemicals the same way that we can get you used to working physically when we train you physically in the fire academy, right? Part of that is like, you know, just get the reps in of picking heavy things up and moving them and putting the gear on and what it's like to move and what it's like to be restricted or control your breathing when you're excited. We can do that with your brain too.
Yeah.
And we can kind of make your brain react as if you're under stress and then teach you things. And when you teach someone those things in those environments, they get used to working under that specific set of brain chemistry, which is that specific set of brain chemistry tells you to not do things in a coordinated way. They say fight or flight, and what people forget all the time is the freeze part, which is the most common reaction. So to get them over the freeze part, to learn how to get through auditory blackouts, because when that brain chemistry kicks in, you don't hear well, and that's a natural response. So how do you make sure that someone hears their call sign on the radio, put them in that state, and then call them over and over and over again until they hear themselves? And so it's not only like, it's neat, it looks exciting, but it's kind of an educational and neurophysiology experiment as well.
Oh man, this is such exciting. This is so exciting, this training, hearing about it. Do you know if there are any other departments doing this type of training around the country?
Are there real world training environments? Almost no. I don't want to say no. There is a organization somewhere in the middle of the state that does it for profit, is what I'm told.
Okay.
And that there are kind of individual one-off trainings that people have done that kind of introduce this kind of thing. To our knowledge, it hasn't been done on this scale or kind of with this intent behind it. It was just, let's play like we train and do it. I'm not sure anyone has really sat down and thought about kind of the educational theory, the neurophysiology, the kind of, you know, the brain part of it.
Right.
They just wanted to do the hands part of it. And to make it neat and to make it real. We're trying to do things with intention to get the most benefit out of it.
Okay.
Because just because you do it right, you'll get more out of it if you do it with intention.
Yeah.
And that's kind of been the driving force. So it's been very creative, but also always with intention. And so not really, which is why we coined the term high fidelity training, because there really was no word for it.
Yeah.
So we didn't know what to call it. That sounded good enough, and you know, we did that.
All right. Well, very good to hear that the Philadelphia Fire Department is at the forefront of something like this. It's great. And so, can you tell us in terms of? I know that you are working with other outside agencies. Not only you provide training or one of the goals is to provide training for outside agencies, but also to work alongside outside agencies and other community partners. Can you tell us kind of what the goal is there and maybe some partners you're currently working with?
So for the first time ever, the Philadelphia Fire Department opened its doors to any regional EMS provider or any EMS provider in the state of Pennsylvania to come join us during this training.
Oh, okay.
It was the first time we didn't do things in-house, and we opened it up. We did get some takers, not as many as we would like to have been honest, but this is still very new. And it's a very novel thing for the fire department, to offer to bring outside people into our own classes.
Yes.
Sometimes we will and have in the past offered educational opportunities specifically for entire outside organizations, but we've never really offered to bring them in and train with us. And it was really important to us is that it wasn't separate from us, that it was with us.
Yeah.
Because this is going to be a very regional summer. We've had other regional events. The other thing we did for the first time ever is used some of our technology that we have for patient tracking and accountability. And that is it starts with us, and then we pass that on to the hospitals, and the hospital, we're all part of the same system and network. That's another thing that people talk about but don't do a lot. So as we were doing it, we made all of our information available to local hospitals to actually use and train with. And again, create a real life environment as if they were getting this information for real, but it's a completely closed loop, sterile thing, so it wouldn't change anything, but it would allow them to train other people on their side. And then in part two, we're going to invite a lot of our hospital staff to come and to train with us in their roles and that they would play in a large-scale incident.
This has been such an exciting conversation and so much to learn about this program. We'd love to have you back on the show. All right. So that's all the time we have for today. I want to thank both Captain William Murphy and paramedic Stephen Yost for joining us today. To learn more about the PFD, including fire and life safety information and job opportunities, visit phila.gov/fire. And if you would like to keep up with our show, Freedom from Fire, look for us on Verizon Channel 36, Comcast Channel 56, and LaSalle TV's YouTube page. And remember, you can follow the PFD on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and X. Also, please check out Fireman's Hall Museum located at 147 North 2nd Street. You'll get to meet our resident historian, firefighter Brian Anderson, and learn about the history of the Philadelphia Fire Department. Thank you for taking the time to join us on Freedom from Fire. Remember, fire is everyone's fight. Stay safe.